Have you seen the JD Vance memes that have been circulating the internet where the meme creators have increased his body size to make him look fat? And that's the joke, that he's fat. LOL, I guess.
For one, that's not even the original photo where he is just fat. They're making fun of his face. And yes, it progressively got crazier because that's how the internet works. It's really not that deep. And also, do you seriously think JD Vance likes the photos of him being fat? I've seen him laugh about it and be like, ha 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 ha, whatever. But he doesn't want to be perceived as fat.
Vance is a horrible human being and is being critiqued for his appearance. And this is a common theme in left-leaning circles. If someone is awful, then a great way to humiliate them is to focus on their appearance. Remember those Trump statues from 2016 where not only was his weight mocked, but also his small penis? We have anti-fatness, toxic masculinity, and transphobia all being perpetuated by left-leaning circles. More recently, Trump's annual physical, where his critics loved mocking the weight that was reported, saying that he was actually way fatter, like being fat is a bad thing.
I don't understand why she's focusing on people making fun of Republicans' appearances when Trump has literally posted videos of Barack Obama as a monkey. And that is extremely racist. And I would say that's way worse than someone making someone look fat.
And I get it, Trump and his cronies are awful human beings. It's not their bodies that make them awful, but the content of their characters. Less likely that the shitty people who we create these memes about are going to see this content, but it's more likely that the fat people who are in our communities are going to see it and know that we think it's funny and horrible and disgusting to be fat.
You guys are so self-centered, you can't realize that people making a joke about horrible people being overweight and just making fun of them and altering their appearance to show what they act. And you make it so personal about yourself. Like, nobody's on here saying that this photo of JD Vance is because people that are fat are horrible, awful human beings. It's just the internet, and it's not that deep. It's not that personal. Not everything is about fat people.
I am getting so frustrated because it hurts my heart, where I keep coming across people that I have, like creators I follow, creators I really like, who talk about important issues that I really align myself with. And then I see something about them taking GLP-1s and I have to stop and think, is this person taking this for weight loss? Are they diabetic? Maybe they have an autoimmune disease?
Why does their choice to take a medicine affect you?
9.5 times out of 10, if I investigate at all, it's for weight loss.
If they're taking it for weight loss, do you know what happened to make them feel the need to take a weight loss medication?
And that sucks, because then I have to look at this person that I liked and I respected and I like their content and think this person is fatphobic.
How is it fatphobic for them to decide to take a weight loss medication when you yourself admit that you have to investigate to figure out the reason why they're taking it? And why does it even matter to you the reason? It's a personal choice and it's a medical decision that they made and they may not feel comfortable sharing it. That doesn't mean that they're fatphobic, especially if you already agreed with a lot of their points.
This person, if they saw me, the subconscious fat phobia, I can't do it. I can't follow them anymore. I can't see them without thinking, wow, they put a lot of effort and time and money into not looking like me.
That's just a personal issue that you have and something that you need to deal with internally. It's not on the person online to cater to your feelings and not lose weight because you think that it's because they don't want to look like you. Do they even know who you are?
And they don't even know that they're going to gain back all the weight in 98% of cases.
She just pulled that 98% statistic out of her ass because it's just straight up not true. Also, when you stop a GLP-1, you need to uphold your calorie intake that you were taking on your GLP-1. GLP-1s help reduce food noise. And once you're off the GLP-1, the food noise can come back and that can be hard to deal with. So you need to be mentally prepared to manage that.
And it's sad because I also understand the feeling. I have been fat since 3rd grade. I grew up fat. And when I say I was like fat in 3rd grade, I was wearing like, a women's 24. And especially in the 90s, that is the amount of abuse that I suffered from my family, from my peers. Maybe it's just the trauma of all of that, but I can't look at people the same way.
I fear she just invalidated her whole point of this video. This is something she should go to therapy for and not project onto people, especially people on the internet.
And it sucks because my endocrinologist wants me to start on a GLP-1 for type 2 diabetes, not for weight loss. In fact, we're looking at like which one would cause the least amount of weight loss and like GI side effects, as well as ways of like making sure that I am still eating because it makes you lose your appetite and makes food stop being enjoyable, which is fucking awful.
Food shouldn't be the most enjoyable thing in your life. And then granted, she didn't say it was the most enjoyable thing in her life, but if she's so worried about losing her love for food, that makes me think that she does use food to cope, and she should really look for other ways of enjoying life outside of food.
It is not how we as human beings are supposed to live. Like, food is an essential part of so much of our lives, and that is not a bad thing.
Yes, you need food to survive, but the food that we typically find enjoyable is not the food that we need to survive. We don't need ice cream or McDonald's and stuff like that to survive. We need whole foods. And I doubt you're only eating whole foods. And same with the vast majority of the population, whether they're fat or skinny.
And I'm dealing with so much of the emotional impact and the emotional fallout. And I feel like I'm like right back in 2010 when I started fat activism. And I was just constantly angry and triggered and hopeless.
Again, you should probably go to therapy if you aren't already. And if you are, you should bring it up to your doctor and your therapist.
And these are leftists, which is so much more infuriating. Like, if I was following a queer leftist who was like, yes, I'm going to start going to church so that I can be less queer, I would have a fucking problem with that.
Being fat is not the same as being queer. Like, just because you're fat, that doesn't mean that it is a part of your identity that you cannot change. You can change your weight. And if you're choosing to be fat, that's your choice. But equating it to being a part of the LGBTQ community and trying to change that is completely different than saying that someone is trying to lose weight. It doesn't mean that they're forcing everybody else to lose weight.
In the same way, I see when leftist fat people are like, you know, I'm going to do this dangerous thing. But the GOP ones are not the problem. The mindset is the problem. The fat phobia is the problem. And these are also people who would say, I'm not fat phobic. I care about fat people. I have fat friends. I have fat family. I'm not fat phobic. How dare you say I'm fat phobic? But what rhetoric does that remind you of? Every other fucking leftist issue where somebody says, I can't be this thing because I have loved ones who experience this. My mom, who took 10 years to even acknowledge that I wasn't straight, now goes around, we've been no contact for like 5 years, by the way, now goes around telling people how she has all types of people in her family, including queer people. That's me. I'm the only queer person in our family.
I'm not going to repeat myself again, but it's basically the same thing. That doesn't affect you at all if somebody chooses to lose weight. It's a personal choice. Choosing to be racist or choosing to be homophobic is not a personal choice that affects other people's lives.
And she'll also use the fact that I'm non-binary as I know queer people, I know trans people, I've got queer and trans people in my family. I can't even remember the last time she didn't misgender me. And yes, weight loss is a deeply personal decision, and you have bodily autonomy. But that doesn't mean that it isn't fat phobic. It just means that you have the choice to engage with that fat phobia, and you have chosen to do so.
She's literally so close to the point.
So leftists, your leftism is not fucking complete if you are still fat phobic. It's not. Being fat phobic is not leftist.
You know what doesn't sound leftist? Policing what medications people are on, or telling people that it is fat phobic to take a certain medication. It's not fat phobic to take a medication, just as it is not a murder to get an abortion. That is a medical procedure that has nothing to do with you. Just like getting on a GLP-1, just like losing weight, it is somebody else's personal health that they are managing, and it doesn't affect you.